This is Atlas and Coin here. Just a wrap up for the week of September 28th, 2020. Just a real quick recap from last week. The housing numbers of last Thursday, they were freaking huge. I mean, unbelievable. Over 1 million new units sold in housing for the month of August. So a great way to start the week. And it looks like things are going to be getting better this week as well. On Monday, the markets were up significantly, most likely based upon just the positive news of the numbers of the housing and things of the nature, and that just traditional uptrend tick. The Dow was up 1.5% roughly. The S&P was up 1.6% roughly, and the NASDAQ was up almost 2% at 1.87-ish percentage points. So just a general market, very positive news. Again, following the news that came out from last week, and then also the TikTok ban seems to be on hold for now, so that's also a very positive point, again leading the markets in for that. President Trump's income taxes were leaked by the New York Times, it seems, and it looks like he was paying a very small amount of income taxes, something along the lines of $750 or something like that. Again, this is all allegedly information that was being leaked. We don't really know because no one really has seen any of these actual tax returns. But if those rumors are true, we're paying such a small amount. There's no reason, there's no doubt why he's a billionaire. Obviously, everyone wants to reduce their taxes with the U.S. government. So no surprise there that he's used some interesting techniques, I'm sure, to achieve those goals. Anyways. Nothing else really to report on the actual tax front. It does seem though that he does have a little bit of debt, a fair amount of debt actually, that's coming due shortly. Exactly, I don't know exactly how much that is, and those details of what those actual loans are, I really don't know. But I do believe that there is a fair amount of information on that at the New York Times article, which I'll link down below. So yeah, there's no midnight ban on the TikTok stuff, so that's pretty good. TikTok seems to be working just fine. I launched the app. Everything's looking pretty good, pretty funny still. Lots of really good times on the app. So yeah, I mean, pretty good. I mean, I think that everything's going to be working out fine for the app. It does seem like the ban, though, in November is still on the table for now, to see if a deal can be cut. But no real news other than what the Oracle has gotten in the works for the actual deal to sort of continue on with the actual efforts of TikTok and this new company that's going to create and everything else, and who's going to be the stakeholders and everything else. But the actual raw technology details of exactly how things are going to be working and things of that, those things are not really ironed out, and so we'll have to wait until we get more news on TikTok. On Tuesday, things were down just a little bit, roughly about 0.5% on both the S&P and Dow, and the NASDAQ was down roughly about 0.25%. So yeah, nothing really major there. So great news for Beyond Meat. They have struck a deal with Walmart, and on that news, the stock took off by almost 10%. So yeah, really a great opportunity for Beyond Meat to actually move the products. I used to work in the consumables market for food-based products, for yogurts and milk-based products, and I can tell you that there's a very large profit model there for those types of industries. So anything like this, like a food-based product or what have you, there's going to be a really great profit margin for them if they manage their expenses well. But now being in Walmart, that's going to be expanded to that, and I think there's also some type of advantages if they take the actual product and put the Beyond Meat in a meat section that has done some pretty amazing things for their sales potential instead of putting it in the vegetarian section. So yeah, great news for Beyond Meat. For some bad news, Disney seems like they're going to be doing a huge layoff during the pandemic. Roughly about 28,000 employees are going to lose their jobs. So Disney definitely affected by the actual pandemic and things of the nature. California, which has been under this very strange kind of lockdown on and off throughout the pandemic, these obviously has affected the actual parks for Disney. So that also the actual layoffs will include like executives and salaried workers, but most of the actual being terminated will be part-time workers, which will be about 67%. So unfortunately for those employees. For the unemployment. Hopefully we'll get a stimulus bill passed soon so that we'll be able to help these workers get through these very difficult times. So on a news event that we talked about last week, which about JP Morgan and spoofing with the metals market, they admitted it. They are going to pay roughly about $920 million in penalties, which is, holy cow, I mean, that's a lot of money, especially during this difficult time. But it happened over a period of 8 years with 15 traders, and it cost roughly about $300 million in the market for actual losses for other individuals. So more details on the link below. Definitely check that out. But yeah, for JP Morgan, again, like I said last week, not cool, JP Morgan. Hopefully they learned their lesson and they can move forward from this. On Wednesday, it was a really interesting day for the markets. We had the NASDAQ up roughly about 0.75%, the S&P up by roughly about almost a little over 0.75%, and the Dow was up by 1.2%, which is actually pretty huge. Really bad news in the job market. In the last 24 hours, we've had tens of thousands of job losses announced officially. So from American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta's been doing something with furloughs during this pandemic with roughly about 40,000 of their employees having to deal with it. Shell is going to be cutting 9,000 jobs, and Walt Disney is going to be again cutting 28,000 jobs. So yeah, it's definitely being felt by a lot of these companies, and hopefully we'll have a stimulus bill passed soon, and we'll be able to get through this and move forward for a quick recovery. On Thursday, things were up a little bit on the Dow, and S&P was up by 0.5%, roughly, and the NASDAQ was up by over almost 1.5%. So a really positive day on Thursday for the NASDAQ. A great way to kick off October 1st. So Gap plans to add a lot of jobs. Their stock went up 6% today on the news, and they plan on adding additional seasonal workers and things of that nature. So Gap seems to be forging ahead on the actual jobs front, which is great news, obviously, for those workers, and we're happy to see that everything is moving forward for that organization, and hopefully they'll have a great retail season this year. Obviously, again, all the news that we had from yesterday about just the tens of thousands of jobs losses, hopefully, obviously those jobs are not going to be translated over easily to like Gap's situation, and plus their salaries and benefits will be nowhere near what they were for the airlines and for Shell and for Disney. But again, positive news for Gap's side. So still great news to hear that there are some jobs happening and some new jobs are being created. So that's great news. On the actual stimulus bill, the House actually passed a $2.2 trillion bill without any aid from the actual from the Republicans for the actual passing of the actual measure, but that doesn't mean that it's a done deal. We still have to. The Republicans still control the majority of the Senate, and Nancy Pelosi believes that her actions about taking this vote doesn't put the negotiations with for an actual deal to go through. So, it's very interesting to see that. I mean, I think it's positive news that at least they're able to get some type of vote. But again, it has to pass through the Senate, and the president does have to sign it. So, again, progress is being made. They're really trying, and I think that there's the market's going to react well to this. Just because of the effort, and I do feel that hopefully they'll have something sooner than later, as many Americans do need the help, and during these very difficult times. The details on the pandemic have not been getting better. They've been getting worse in recent days, and today is no different. The President Trump tweeted out that he and the First Lady have tested positive for COVID-19. This is probably with regards to Hope Hicks, who was a very close aide and in very close contact with the president, had some type of negative symptoms for that, and so therefore he tested positive. That doesn't mean that he'll be out of commission. Many leaders in the world have had it, have had COVID-19, and only Boris Johnson from the UK got severely ill from it. So I know that the president is of advanced age, and so that he's maybe a little bit more susceptible to this type of situation in his life. However, I have full faith that that the president will have a great medical staff at the White House, and they'll watch the situation very closely. This is a breaking news item. Really, I only got this about a few moments ago. So we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks. So for Friday, everything was down. Obviously, the news of President Trump and the First Lady having COVID-19 obviously is a huge blow for the market, and everything as expected just pretty much tumbled. The NASDAQ fell the most by almost 2.25%. The S&P fell almost 1%, and the Dow fell almost 0.5%. Really, yeah. I mean, the only other news that we have about the situation is that later in the day, today, there was news that the actual President Trump actually went to the hospital to undergo some treatment. So we do wish him the very best, and hopefully he'll make a quick recovery. Happy Friday, everybody. As expected, all the news from the president, actually President Trump having being infected with the virus. Obviously, everything tanked. It was really bad. It was really bad today. I mean, obviously, 2.25 almost on the NASDAQ, S&P almost down 1%, and the Dow almost down 0.5%. So the only other news about the president is that he's going to a hospital and undergoing some treatment and some type of observation. So hopefully he'll be out in a couple days, and things will be moving forward. And really, no other news. I mean, everyone's just talking about the possibility of a stimulus bill, even during these crazy times with the president and with the virus and everything else. But the positive note, actually, Tesla destroyed the estimates. Tesla's number of vehicles sold was 139,300 vehicles, which was blowing past the 129,950 estimate. So that's really great news. They didn't say if they were going to beat the actual 500,000 unit benchmark for the end of the year, but they got a couple more months moving these vehicles, so hopefully they'll do so. Anyways, you guys have a great weekend, and please click on the like button and comment below if you have any questions or like to continue the conversation, and obviously subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a great day.